feast thy eyes upon my unholy creation. My mom bought me some weird fake Prada for the Labubu. That's my intro. Hello, hi, my name is Icky. Welcome video. What we're doing today, what we're yapping about. Am I glad that I transitioned? I might sound a little bit dumb because I made the decision and I did it and I went through with it. However, everything sucks right now for trans people especially, but also actually everybody else. So given that I live in England, which is, you know, a tough island, you might think that I would possibly regret my transition. Surely it's easier for me to have stayed cis. I would be a lot safer. I made a video about whether or not I should leave the country because of how it seems to be going. I wouldn't have lost the one family member that I did. Maybe now for safety reasons. Okay, I'm gonna cut in now. No, of course I don't. I am too cool for that. I have no regrets. No regrets. You see? That's my tattoo that says no regrets. Regrets. There's an A instead of an E. So 3 A's. No, I do not regret my transition at all because I feel like a person. That is the long and the short of it, really. I feel like a person now. I did not feel like a person before. That is very hard to explain properly without sounding a bit crazy. I'm gonna try. I'm used to sounding crazy. Obviously with this channel, I make a lot of trans friendly content, a lot of trans helpful content. That's what I've done on the internet for a few years now. It does kind of feel a little bad in the modern day to be helping people start this journey that is a lot more difficult now than it was even when I started transitioning 5 years ago. I was about to say 3 years ago. I still don't have boobs. I've emailed about it and I'm still waiting. They said that it should be in the mail. I got the tracking number, it doesn't work, but I have hope. I am genuinely glad that I transitioned and I'm happy that I can be helpful to other people. I receive DMs on Instagram all the time. Lots of horrible ones, but these ones are nice. They're usually from people saying that, you know, my content really helped them start their transition, or they've just started and they found the content and it helps. All kinds of stuff, which I love. Thank you. I'm so glad this nonsense is helpful. That's cool. I'm so happy that I helped you. I feel guilty a little bit because everything is horrible. Because it seems like currently it's maybe just easier for people who haven't started their transition yet to not, which sucks. That sucks. I've said it 1,000 billion jillion times. That's a real number. Look it up. I would do it over and over and over again. If a magic goblin came to me and said,
you either detransition or you have to go back to the start and do it again,
I'd do that 1,000 times. Nothing in the world could stop me from getting to this point now that I know what this point feels like. How much more of a person I feel, how much more confident I am, happy, like how much more relaxed my brain is, how much better interactions are with strangers or with friends. I don't have as much social anxiety. I just feel better. There's obviously the woman fear of I'm gonna get murdered when I go outside of my own. But aside from that, I have a lot more confidence. I love meeting new people and they just know this me. But it's crazy. I just feel good. I feel normal. I feel like, normal is a stretch. I feel like a person. I didn't feel like a person before. There are tons of little moments in my day-to-day life that bring me so much more joy than I ever previously felt. And the fact that it's been 5 years means that this icky is very normalized to my friends and family. It's difficult to remember past me. I'm sure my mum still does, but she has not slipped up. My sisters support me and they never, you know, gender me anything other than female. I don't think that staying cis would have been good for me because I'm not cis. So that is the wrong part. This is the correct part. My brain is less wanting to die now I've done this. I don't think I would have done a bad thing if I didn't transition, but I would not have had a fulfilling life. I would not have any of the things that I have done with my life so far. I'm proud of my body. I obviously have the brain worms, but if I was a cis woman, I would have the brain worms still. You know, cis women are insecure too. It is drilled into women from any stage of their life to just be horribly insecure so that we buy products. The biggest activism that you could do, the biggest defiance, the biggest like you that you could do to the people that are making lives harder for us is just be yourself. Live truly, be happy, have a normal life, ordinary life. They hate it. Flexing on the haters. I do think it's like a very successful form of trans activism to just exist. Obviously, I would recommend safety being the top priority. It's a difficult balance. It's a very nuanced situation. Living your authentic self is awesome. The activism of staying true to yourself and transitioning and showing the world that, you know, we exist, but that doesn't work if you're in actual physical danger. Prioritize safety, but if you are in a safe environment and you're more just worried about day-to-day political stress, it is stressful. I don't know, I guess pick your poison. You could suffer as a cis person or you could suffer as a trans person. And I personally quite like suffering as a trans person. I don't know what that was. There's a lot of chaos out there and trans people are targeted, and we have been for 5 years at least. But again, 5 years of just living happily, making progress in my transition. The news headlines, they suck, but I have fulfilling friendships and relationships and friendships, and I don't know if I just said friendships, I think I did. Everything is shinier and happier now. No news headline can really take that away from me. I mean, unless they actually like break down my door and take my estrogen. Until that happens, I'm gonna be sitting pretty. I'm very glad, as you know from this video, I'm very glad that I did transition, and I think that if you're questioning it and the political online Twitter side of your brain is worried that it will be hell on earth, it depends on your family and the specific environment that you're in. There's a lot of variables, but you know those variables best. Being on this side of things, being 5 years in, joy, the indescribable feeling, I wish I could share it with you. And this is my way of trying to do that. If you are struggling, if you are certain that this is the route you want to take, you do your research, you do all the smart, clever things that you do to make sure you don't put yourself at any risks or, you know, make your life harder for yourself if you don't want that end goal. But I do really think that it will enrich your life. You will occasionally get angry if you use Twitter, but aside from that, every other aspect of life being enriched, kind of a banger deal. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. I'm so sorry, Asha, because you had to edit this, and whoa, this will be coherent and cool, but the version that's being sent in, nonsense. I'm so sorry. It's Sunday, so the brain ain't working. It's 6:40. I nearly had a panic attack this morning, so I've had to change around medication. You don't care, but I haven't left the house, so I haven't had anyone to talk to about this. I had a really bad tummy ache before filming this. Could you get a tattoo of me, person? That would be really cool. Live, laugh, love, lesbians, limes. Not a TikTok transition, the woke kind of transition. This is a very free form. I said too many dumb tangents. I don't even remember what I actually was talking about. I'm gonna have granola for dinner. There are tons of little moments. Nope. There we go. Now I don't write scripts, apparently. There was a lot of just wholeness. That's funny because OnlyFans.